Rookie of the year. No, rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year.
Don't skip steps.
No, wait, I'm not gonna even talk about this one. It's pretty obvious. I don't want to mention his name anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
We already mentioned
we
it
don't have to
once.
talk about this guy because he's going to win anyway. I'm sure you guys could figure that out.
He gets all the calls anyway, so.
Yeah. They'll figure it out after that. Um, I mean, essentially, let's just not even mention him. You know?
You know we stay swishing, 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 swishing. Rise up, stay swishing, 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 swishing. Willing every jumper with a flick of wrist. Never a doubt, a fear of miss. Anyone sleeping on my shots get fits. Cause every shot do nets, do rips. Cards, hearts, darts, rewards, smarts, sharks.
Welcome on in to the Diamond Release podcast. I'm the Dimer.
I'm Release.
How did your week go?
So we're going right into that. My week was pretty crappy. I was sick all week. Cold type of thing. Coughing, sneezing, the works. But unfortunately, that gave me some time and effort to put into reviewing what we went over last week, trying to improve on what we did and make this show better so we could get it to the level that we want to make this show and the brand itself. So I've done a lot of thinking this week, in other words. A lot of time on my hands, of course. So you're going to see some of that in action in today's show. How'd your week go?
It went pretty well. Got to watch a lot more basketball than usual. The it's gearing up for a good ending. Like a lot of close standing wise. You never know who's going to get which seed yet. It's pretty interesting today.
Yeah, I love the chaos of the NBA today. I think the schedule makers did a good job, as they usually do, with the way they set things up this year. Love the last games of the year. A lot of them still need to make a seed in place. So there's a lot of things on the line. And I loved the in-season tournament this year. That was a great addition as well.
Hmm. I don't know how I feel about that. It was interesting though.
I thought early season needed a little sprucing up, so it did something. It's a good attempt, and I like things like that. Other people may not like it as much, but that's okay. It's still it is what it is. It's the NBA. They're gonna try things. They're gonna see what works.
Speaking of the NBA trying things, let's go right into the Mind You of the Week.
Mind you of the week. All right. So this week's Mind You of the Week is week 2 of a series that we're doing on it. So last week we started with Pat Bev. Then we moved into the 99 Knicks comparisons to this year. So I want to preface this by saying this segment's not a Knicks centric per se. Of course, me being emotional about the Knicks is going to tie into it. But overall, you'll get the reason why at the end of this little series. So today's segment is all based on Jalen Brunson and the foul calls. Now, this is a headline because people are calling him a foul hunter. Now, one point I want to make is not the name of the game to get the easiest shot you can. That's a foul shot or uncontested layup or dunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Brunson's going to try for free throws, so obviously he's going to hunt fouls, as does any superstar. Am I right?
Yes.
All right, so swiftly moving on to the next point of this. We got the Wemby and Jalen Brunson dilemma. So,
How are they related? What do you mean?
So Wemby is a soft finesse type player. He doesn't try to draw a lot of contact, and if it does, it looks like he's being like budged a lot or affected more so, even though he's a lot bigger, height-wise and length-wise. Now,
So affected a lot more because he doesn't have the strength yet.
right, right. So strength is a factor. So he tends to get these little ticky-tack or soft calls as opposed to someone who can absorb some hits, make it look like they're still on the same path and not affect their shots.
Someone who
They don't get
drives the
the
lane.
Yeah, well, it's not just the driving. It's just the ability to draw contact in general doesn't look as much. When it's the same amount of force being given to each of these guys, the way they show it is not the same. So Brunson gets labeled a foul hunter because he has to draw fouls, or it'll look like he's just doing what he does. And it's like a little flick on him.
Hmm. There are other players that we can mention about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a
not
lot
just him.
It's mostly guards that, or like guards or forwards that drive the lane, searching for.
You're thinking too much on the drive the lane part. It's just in general, like he doesn't show contact being drawn as much as Wemby does, or a soft player like per se.
Majority of his game is, well, I'm talking about Brunson, is either step back threes or
No,
driving the lane for floaters or going the rim.
mid range.
He does shoot mid range, but like majority of the game he's on the outside or driving. If there's opening,
he's in the mid range a lot.
if that's what you think.
That's
I
exactly
mean,
what
you watch him
Yeah.
more than me. So
I mean, he's in the mid range a lot. I don't have to like prove my point with that, but it's not just him. I mean, you could say Wemby draws more fouls already than Brunson and Maxey does.
he definitely doesn't play as much minutes as them, and I would have to say he definitely draws more fouls per minute, if that's what you're saying. I don't know about.
It's not about that. It's the 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 level that he gets calls is on superstar level, akin to LeBron, Durant, Curry, essentially.
So you think they're labeling him as a face?
And they're trying to make him the face of the NBA, right? They know he's soft. He needs help getting to the line with these ticky tack calls. He can't handle contact as much as some other guys. So the NBA is helping him out there. Isn't that weird how they're trying to do that with a rookie as opposed to someone who's already proving that he's winning? What has Wemby really done since coming to the NBA besides put up numbers on a bad team?
He does draw a lot of height.
It's clear-cut favoritism. The refs have favorites. There is a pecking order. Why is there a pecking order?
Because he's a
It
face.
shouldn't be that way.
Because he's a face of the
It should be equal opportunity. Why don't the guys get the calls that they should?
Because he's the face of the league.
No, that's not the question.
He's an up-and-comer.
That shouldn't matter. And also, mind you, Wemby, the interpretation here factor. Like, why do refs get to interpret whether something like prevents someone from doing something? So one of the main arguments was one call was not going Brunson's way. The NBA officials came back with the fact that it did not impact his path or his shot. Yet, you watch that same thing happen across the court, and they say, oh, it impacted it. Same amount of force, same type of foul. That's because they're using interpretation of rules that is false. They're playing favorites. They're using the wrong mindsets. You should be rewarded for drawing contact.
That reminds me of a player, a specific player that used to draw this contact. Actually, two different players. Trae Young and James Harden.
No. Stop hijacking my segment. The NBA is rigged. The NBA is rigged. You'll see everything full circle next week. But this is more factors onto that. So before I get into any deeper, the NBA is rigged. The refs suck.
So you want to be a ref? Is
No,
that what you're saying?
no, I'm not trying to fix the solution.
So how is it going to be fixed? You got to train these refs.
No, I don't
Is
want
it
to
the
talk
refs
about,
or
I
is
don't
it the
want-
NBA?
It's both, but we'll get to that. All right, we'll get to that. We'll get to that, guys, next week. So the other thing we have today, we have a guest. This is Leo. Say hi, Leo. Say hi, Leo. Say hi. He's a big Bucks fan. He's Chris Middleton, and we're gonna do like a side by side comparison. You said
Yeah, side by side of what Chris Middleton looks like and what our dog Leo looks like. Um,
essentially the same person.
yeah, and only one person can save Doc Rivers.
It's him, Chris Middleton. Hey, Chris.
He's not a big Doc Rivers fan.
Debatable. All right. So, I mean, since we're on that subject of Doc Rivers, kind of brings me to what I wanted to talk about today.
The All-Star Game coaching.
No. But recognition. So, this is the part of the show where we talk about who we think is going to win some awards this year.
Does that mean we're doing the awards?
Yeah. This is the part. All right. So, maybe get his opinion too, but all right. So, this should be a little fun segment here for us, but why don't you start us off with the MVP, who you think's going to win this year?
So, mind you, Jokic is not winning his third MVP. And
Why do you-
I'll tell you why.
Go ahead.
They do not want to label him on the Mount Everest of the NBA with Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, LeBron.
Where did I hear this before? This sounds familiar.
In your mind, you.
No. Who did you take this from, this idea?
Oh, so I've heard it from well, not quite a few, but a couple people that, well, from Gilbert Arenas' pod with Barstool,
Healthy debate.
Healthy Debate. I don't really know the name.
Yeah.
But he mentioned that he doesn't think Jokic is going to get his third MVP because the NBA is rigged, and we all know this. So I'm gonna go with the second favorite, and that's Luka Doncic.
Okay. Okay. Say less. Say less. So he thinks Luca. Now, my opinion, they're going to try to do this despite what Gilbert said. He has won one now, so let's give Jokic a third MVP, just to spite Gilbert Arenas. That's my take on it. Essentially, he is the best player. He deserves it. They've made mistakes with the MVP award. Well, let's not like play that down, but
Which one are you referring to exactly?
there's a few, but kind of all started when around the time Westbrook maybe, but I would say Luca probably be a good runner-up. I have an emotional pick that I would say should be, but we're not doing that today. We're here to say who we're going to think's going to win. That being said, next award, what do we have?
Let's go with Defensive Player of the Year. My
Okay.
pick, Rudy Gobert. Best
Ah.
team,
Hmm.
or one of the best teams in the league. Best defensive team, best defensive rating. He anchors the defense. They have a lot of good players around him, but all in all, he he takes the cake for Defensive Player of the Year. What do you think?
So, interesting. So I'd say the same guy, Rudy Gobert. Main points, defensive player of the year is the linchpin of the best defense. So Rudy Gobert does deserve it just on that alone. Um, you can maybe say that the whole team has defensive presence on there, but end of the day, the captain of that defense, the linchpin, deserves that award, not the whole team. So it goes to Rudy Gobert for that alone. They also happened to not skip a beat when Karl Anthony Towns was down, and a lot of that had to do with their number one defense, led by Rudy Gobert. I mean, straightforward. Deserves the award.
Let's go to sixth man of the year. So I had some debate with this. I wanted to pick Naj Reid, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, they're not going to pick two Timberwolves players for awards.
Interesting.
It's too biased.
Why do you say that?
And I say that because not many awards by year is goes to one specific team for two different awards. It doesn't really happen that often, and also that
It
the
might.
sixth man of the year award primarily is for guards who just get buckets. Although
I
Nas Reed,
mean,
although Nas Reed does get buckets, but you don't really give him the ball in like clutch moments like you would Malik Monk. Like he closes out lineups. Obviously, Timberwolves have Towns and Gobert, so where is he really going to slot in with that? So yeah, I'm going to go with who I really think is going to get it, Malik Monk.
all right. I also had Malik Monk. Main reason for me, he's basically their sixth starter, sixth man essentially, and he provides that energy, the spark, the win share. Um, Very clutch as well. Streaky shooter too. I mean, he can be off and on. He's more than a shooter as well. He also is able to penetrate, kick, and all that. He handles the ball when Fox is not in, Sabonis is not in, kind of thing. So he's like that tertiary ball handler. Um, Essentially, like he gets more minutes than Kevin Herter. That's the point. So, like, he
I,
has the greatest
I
impact of
believe that
six men.
I do want to add in that I believe Kevin Herter's been hurt recently and he might be out.
Yeah, but before the injury, he was getting more minutes. There's a reason. I mean, his impact is unmatched to me. I mean, I like Nas Reed, but end of the day, I do think it's Malik Monk's award to win. Did he win last year?
I believe so. I
You
believe
sure it wasn't like Clarkson or
I believe it was
um,
Malik Monk.
it was not quickly. I know that. I
I
mean,
think
it should have
quickly
been,
is
but
I think he's the person that he lost to. Quickly lost to. So let's go
okay.
to our next award.
All right. So let me start. So most improved. I struggled with this one honestly.
It really
Um,
shouldn't be a struggle. He
let me tell you why I struggled though. So
doesn't want to pick a
off the
sixer.
gut, off the no, off the gut. I think like my first reaction was J Dub, as in Jalen Williams, number 8 Santa Clara player on the Thunder. Um, to me, like the way he jumped from a role player last year to the secondary scorer this year was the biggest improvement that we've seen in the NBA this year. Um, and there's more coming. That's a big factor. Like this is not like his ceiling. He's still yet to touch that. There's a lot of potential, and you could see it in games. So that was one major person, one major reason, like the huge jump and roll. His team is winning. That's a big factor to me. Um,
So you're picking Jalen Williams then.
and I also struggled because I also wanted to say that it was going to be Kobe White just off the rip because of the jump from similar jump, like the role player not knowing if he'd even make the team any further. Um, there was trade talks. Um, Injuries is kind of what boost Kobe White into his role now, but he did do that same thing, role player to secondary scorer, right? Would you agree?
Yep.
I mean, statistically, if you're looking at just that, he did have a pretty significant jump in points per game. You said it was like a 9 point. What we were discussing.
Sorry.
You said it was like a 9 point jump.
Kobe White went from 9 points last year to 19 this year.
So about a 10. Wow. Yeah, I mean, stats alone, but me, I don't make decisions on just stats alone. Is the role that they jumped, the
Situation.
yeah, that situation, the stats is a part of it. Don't get me wrong. And then the winning factor, because all that ties into the ordeal of most improved is supposed to be an aura around it that this guy took an unexpected jump and was the highest of those unexpected jumps.
Hmm.
Everyone expected certain other guys to do a little jump here and there, but
So,
to me, it's got to be then J Dub winning it.
so on your point on unexpected jumps, let's
Who
talk
do you think?
about the real winner, Tyrese Maxey, a guy who went from third option to like no way he could be second. He's just too young, doesn't really have the playmaking skills. Um, can you rely on him with the ball? There's a lot of questions around that. And to jump to the amount of points, I believe he's above 25 a game. He made the All Star team. And
So it's only a 5 point jump.
uh, so my thing is the most improved player is almost always lately a guy who went from a tertiary or less to an All Star.
That's not always the case, but I mean, if you want to think that, that's fine. I mean, not saying he didn't improve, but to be the most improved, I don't see Maxi as that. Just because he's an all-star, I mean, it was expected in a way, especially when Harden moved out. This was expected. Um,
Nothing's expected to be an All Star.
he was expected to take a step up and be the secondary role. This
No
is
one
not like,
expected him to be an All Star. Let's get that straight.
well, a lot of that predicates to him be missing a lot of games this year.
No, no, no. He
Um,
was doing this at the start of the year. We all know this.
I mean, he had we expected him to be around like 25 a game. I mean, let's not play that out. Um, we expected him to be the secondary option. We expected him to have the ball more. A lot of what he's done has been after Embiid, like with the 50-point games went down. Um, Essentially, it's just not enough for me. To me, to encompass the most improved award, you have to have more than just an all-star title to your name. It's the whole mystique of going from role player to secondary, potentially star. That is J Dub to me. I mean, I can't be on the
So
same.
I'm gonna add to it a little bit. J Dub has a similar path that Maxey had, in which he started in the lower tens points per game, went up to 19. I think next year might be his year. I just don't think it's this year.
Say less, say less. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. Are we doing those the silly awards yet?
No,
Rookie of the year?
let's go to Coach of the Year. Now
Rookie of the
we're on
year.
this
No, rookie of the year.
Rookie of the Year.
Don't skip steps.
No, wait, I'm not gonna even talk about this one. It's pretty obvious. I don't want to mention his name anymore.
All right. Yeah, I mean,
We already mentioned
we
it
don't have to
once.
talk about this guy because he's going to win anyway. I'm sure you guys could figure that
He
out.
gets all the calls anyway, so
Yeah. They'll figure it out after that. Um, I mean, essentially, let's just not even mention him. You know.
so
So moving on to what's actually known as the Clutch Award.
we're not doing Coach of the Year.
What's next? Calm down. Calm down.
Okay, Clutch Player of the Year. I'm taking DeRozan. It's a kind of a shot in the dark because this team's not really much in the hunt. I mean, they're a playing team, so um,
Good pick. Good
I'm
pick.
gonna go with my gut because I know everyone labels him as clutch, and he has a lot of clutch shots made. He's made quite a few game winners.
Right.
Um,
Did I see a stat where he made like 100 something clutch points in 100 something minutes?
yeah, I believe that sounds right.
Pretty wild. So I could see that. I've seen a lot of pundits put DeRozan as it. My choice actually goes to someone who's also a master of the mid range. Um, Now, he's not going to be an MVP winner this year, so this is another reason why I think he's getting clutch award. He is a clutch guy, very known. I think he was runner up last year. You could correct me. It's SGA.
Hmm.
Was he runner up?
He was definitely top three, I would say.
Fox won it. We know that. SGA was definitely up there. Um, Essentially, yeah. I mean, the guy is clutch. He's on the number one, potentially number one team in the West. Um, Maybe we figure it out by the time you're watching this. But to me, um, because of his team success, because it's a clutch award, he's doing it in games that matter more. It's got to be SGA, in my opinion.
Hmm. I just think part of the reason I don't think he's gonna win is because that team takes care of business more often than not. I don't. The Bulls usually stay in games somehow and find a way to either win or lose off of that.
I mean,
So,
yeah, yeah, I get that aspect. I don't know if that's how the voters are going to think, but essentially, they want SGA and Ant Man to be the face of the NBA. So why not start with the clutch award? Get one of the guys on there. So that's my point. I mean, we'll see how it shakes out, but these are our predictions. So obviously, Coach of the Year is next.
um, I went back and forth with two different teams in the West, and I'm gonna say Mark Dagnall of the Thunder.
Same here. I mean, why do you think though?
Um, I just think the way his team is built, it's not quite like superstar heavy. Like obviously they have SGA. They don't really have another all-star besides him.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
Yet I think eventually J Check can be that, but to go from not so great playoff team or probably I believe they were out of it last year to a top two, three team in the league, that's a pretty big jump. I mean, you got to give props to the coach for that.
I have a lot of similar reasons. So I like to say one of the worst to potentially the best team is the jump they made. Coaching has a lot to do with that because it's a young team, keep in mind. They don't have a lot of veteran presence dragging them up. They have Lou Dort, who's been around a little bit, but he's not going to change the world for you. He's a good, solid role player, 3 and D. Um, Essentially, the fact that he's been able to have Chet jump in with this team and be such an impact. I mean, some of that is Chet, but it's also the coaching aspects. Overall, it's just his award to lose, and he didn't do anything to lose it. He did the best job out there to develop the team and put them in the running to be potentially number one seed. That's pretty crazy. It's other guys in the race have won already. It's just got to go to Dagnall.
Should I say some honorable mentions? I don't know if you want to comment on
No,
these.
no, let's not.
I'm gonna say it anyway.
Let's not even do that.
Uh,
Come on, don't chill, chill. We got more stuff to
all right,
talk about.
let's go to the next one.
We're not doing honorable mention shows. So now we get to what's not an award per se, but it's more of a list. So we're gonna do the All NBA first team, who we think the five players. Mind you, this is not part of the segment, but keep in mind, it is five top players. There's no position anymore for this. It's not center, power forward, small forward, point guard, shooting guard, or three guards and two bigs. It's just five top players. So go ahead with your list first.
So I'm gonna order them by positions just because. Um, SGA,
Good
Luca,
pick. Good pick.
Tatum, Giannis, Joker.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
I
So why do you think those five?
I just think it's pretty clear cut. the five that are going to make it this year just by their name and what they mean to their team. And
So no Brunson,
no Brunson. Nope.
no hints by it. All right, all right. I mean, so to me, all NBA is going to be a lot of the MVP getters, vote getters. Obviously, I said Jokic. He's number one on the list, first named. Luca would be second, obvious reasons. Um, he's a clear cut guy. SGA, again, obvious reasons. Top three MVP getters. Um, Number four, going Jalen Brunson on this one. Not by pecking order by any means, but he played more games than my last guy, which is Giannis. Very big, very big contribution
Hmm.
to his team.
So Tatum's on the best team in the league, and you're putting him second team.
Absolutely. He's soft.
You don't see any bias with that?
There's absolutely no bias
Taking
because
off a
he's,
Celtic, putting on a Nick.
to me, Brunson did more for his team than Tatum.
Hmm. I mean, I guess you could say that.
Look at the collection of players Tatum had. I mean, Holiday, Porzingis, Brown.
Yep. I mean, it's your list.
That's end of the day. I mean, these are our predictions. We'll see how it shakes out with the real awards down the line, but I feel like we both had solid lists.
So, should we go to our fake awards?
Silly awards. All right. All right. So in the first one, I kind of had in mind. Um, I was thinking one thing, but I'm probably not going to use that now that I think about it. So let me think here. Um,
Let's go with
you have one?
biggest dog in the NBA.
Biggest dog. Um, so this is a guy who's 6'4", played a huge role once his secondary scorer went out. It was Josh Hart. No bias, no bias. Period.
We're not talking stats with this stuff.
No, so I mean, it's not essentially stats. It's the way that when Randall went down, he not only went in the starting lineup and only missed one game, and he also goes ahead and grabs about like 10 rebounds or so a game. Again, not stat related kind of topic, but still like the fact that a 6'4" guard goes in there and grabs boards, um, only misses one game, and does it consistently. So he's averaging about like 8.3 rebounds on the year at
Stats
6'4",
Stats again.
shooting guard, small forward. What's more dog than that?
I could tell you. A guy who is better defensively and
Debatable.
chases after loose balls,
Debate.
deflections,
Like,
steals.
it's rebounds.
It's Jalen Suggs. He is the biggest dog in the NBA.
Pup.
He is not a pup.
Pups.
He is a real dog.
He's young. It's pup.
He is young, but
Pup.
he gets it.
It's pup.
He knows how to win. He plays hard.
I'm talking
Um,
the most dog with it. All right, the pup. Go ahead.
yep, I'm going with Jalen Suggs.
All right, you're entitled to your opinion. The next one, actually, we think we should do this one. The biggest overhype, most overhyped, the most overhyped on the year.
Hmm.
I'll tell you who I think first. So this guy, he had so much hype, right? Coming into the NBA this year. He's a young guy. A lot of people, including yourself, were putting him up on this pedestal that he was going to be like this next best guard. He's on Portland. I mean, you guys could figure it out by now. It's Scoot Henderson. A lot of people were saying he was going to be in the running for Rookie of the Year, some kind of like future All-Star, All-NBA point guard. To me, I think he's showing that he might even be a backup for his career.
That's a crazy take. He's only 19, 20 years old. A lot of potential
This is
still.
most overhyped award, though, so I mean, it is my most overhyped.
I'm gonna go a different route.
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna go someone that got an All-Star nominee or all. He's in the All-Star game. I'm going with Trey Young.
Why do you think he's overhyped?
I just think the way he dominates the ball doesn't really help his team out too much. Like he always wants the ball. It gets players out of rhythm. It's kind of like Harden in a way.
Do people not see that though? Like, are they going around saying like Trey Young's the best guard in the league?
They definitely considered him one of the best because he's in the All-Star game. So obviously he's a good player, but I just don't think his play style is conducive to be
So how is
really
that overhyping?
because
No one's like saying this guy's like above like Doncic or
they
any
compare him to Doncic.
because of the draft
Yep.
and they were traded for each other. But who's going around saying like Trey Young is someone he's not?
Well, I do know he's a king of New York.
Absolutely not. You know that's Brunson. All right. All right, moving on. Do you have any other silly ones we have that we could
Um,
say?
hmm. I'm gonna we're gonna do something a little different. Um, a player you're gonna miss watching once the season ends. So someone that's not in the playoffs, or maybe they're in a play-in race that you think they're not gonna make it.
Okay. All right. What go with? I have no one in mind. So
So I could say the obvious one.
go ahead.
I don't want to mention his name though, so I'm just skip that. Um, uh,
So you're saying someone on the Spurs?
I think
We're not saying his name on the show. Yeah,
no,
good
we're gonna
point.
go with Steph Curry because I don't think the Warriors are making it past the play-in.
Good take. Ah, okay, Steph Curry. Wow. Okay, okay.
It could also be one of his last seasons, so
Ah, interesting.
not his last, but one of his last.
Wow, that's a wild take. Whew, put me on the spot here now. Um, someone I'm gonna, you know, it shouldn't be a superstar per se because, frankly, I don't like seeing superstars win. So I'm just gonna just go off the cuff here, and by saying I'm gonna really miss.
Mikal Bridges.
No, I'm gonna miss watching Emmanuel quickly play this year.
Hmm. What about RJ?
Not important. I'm kidding, he is, but so Emmanuel quickly found his way in Toronto. I think he showed some stuff, and it's fun to watch as well. I mean, essentially, it's be something I'm gonna miss this year. And that's why there's next year, and we'll dominate them next year too.
Okay, I think that's about it for the awards, unless you have anything else.
Hmm. No, I'm out of ideas.
Hmm. Okay, so let's go to our next topic. We did this last week. Guess who? You remember this
Um,
one?
yeah, a lot of people tend to like this one. Like I said, we reflected this week, got some positive light on it. So let's do who's who again.
So I want to explain the rules and like how we should do this more. Obviously, we're gonna ask questions. We could give hints every now and then if we get stumped. But I want you guys to guess along in the comments and like
And we're
if
not putting it on the screen for that reason.
yeah, we want you to figure it out for yourself as we're guessing. See if you can get it before us. And yeah, we'll start off. I'm gonna
Why
think.
don't you go?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna think of a player. Okay, I got one.
This is guy in the West,
No.
in the East,
Yes.
Atlantic Division, Knicks, Celtics,
No.
Central.
Hold on, guys.
Can you stop not knowing this? How many did we do already? I mean, seriously.
Okay, he's not in the Central.
All right, so obviously it's the Southeast. Does this guy play for the Miami Heat,
No.
the Orlando Magic,
No.
Atlanta Hawks?
Yes.
All right. Is this guy a forward?
He is a forward.
Small forward?
Yes.
Does he play shooting guard as well?
No, I wouldn't put him at the 2.
Does he also play power forward?
He could.
Say less. Say less. Do you go to Wake Forest?
Did he go to Wake Forest? That is a good question. I do not know colleges that much. I only he did not.
Duke.
Yes.
Jalen Johnson.
Yes, correct.
All right. You want to go again? Make it a little harder.
That was a pretty hard one. I mean, he doesn't really get talked about him that much.
You should be, but yeah, let's get a little harder on you.
Um, hmm. I got one.
Lock in, lock in, lock in. All right. Is this guy in the West?
Yes.
Pacific. California teams.
No.
All right, all right. So Northwest,
Yep.
Denver.
No.
Northwest, Jazz.
No.
Um, Trailblazers.
No.
Who else is there? Nuggets, Jazz, Trailblazers.
Well, it's either OKC or Timberwolves.
Thunder, Timberwolves. All right. So let's ask a different kind of question then. Is this guy an all-star?
No.
Okay. Is he young or has he played more than 3 years?
I believe he's played more than 3. Let me double check.
Can you stop saying I believe without knowing?
Do you want to ask a different question?
All right, while you're looking that up, um,
He played more than 3 years.
all right, cool. So it's either the Thunder or the Wolves. And can I ask the position?
Nope.
All right, so is this guy forward?
He's. I need a different question. I wouldn't label him as a forward, but he also I wouldn't put it past him.
So he plays another position?
He plays more than one. Yep.
All right. Is it center?
No.
Point guard?
I would call him a guard.
Guard slash forward kind of guy?
Yep.
Um, hmm. Thunder or Wolves? Is he a starter?
No.
Interesting. Interesting. Whew. It's a little tricky here. All right. Is he on the Wolves?
Yep.
Okay. I did think that. All right. Hmm.
I think I stumped him. You need a hint?
All right. So you said this guy has been in the league over 3 years?
Easily.
Yeah, give me one hint.
6'5". Where's number 9?
That's two.
Well, 6'5" is not really much of a hint, but where's number 9?
Is it McDaniels?
Nope.
I didn't know his number. Let's see.
He's also a bench player, so
Yeah. Um.
Guys, I'm sure you got this one in the comments. um,
You know, when you're on the spot, it's not as easy as you think. Um,
I think you're giving up.
Let me ask this question here. Did he go to Duke?
No,
USC,
no,
as in
no,
Trojans.
no.
Ah,
Virginia Tech.
interesting. Interesting. Is this guy American born?
Um, his name doesn't look American.
Can you stop doing that? Was he born in the U.S.?
I don't know.
Click it.
What am I clicking? I'm on his ESPN page.
Are you serious? It says the birthplace.
It does not.
It's got to say something.
Okay, he's not from USA.
All right, so he's international. All right, all
You
right.
could say that.
Oh my God! So he's from Canada.
You could say that.
He's from Canada, isn't he?
Yeah.
All right, all right. So he's a Canadian player. Wow.
Okay, I'm about to say it. I don't think you're getting it.
Wow. Give me another hint.
I gave you enough hints. He has his name is 3 different words.
Wow.
Like it's not first and
Nikhil
last.
Alexander Walker.
Yep, correct.
All right. Well, that hint kind of gave it away, so that's cool. All right. So let's do a couple of mine. Oh, where do we want to get him? Go ahead.
Is he in the East?
Yes.
Is he in Atlantic?
Yes.
Is he on the Knicks?
No.
Is he on the Raptors?
No.
Is he on the Nets?
No.
Is he on the Sixers?
Yes.
Is he a backup?
You could say that.
Paul
Yes.
Reed.
Wrong. Stop throwing names. So,
Is he a forward?
I mean,
Is he a guard forward?
yes.
Kelly Oubre.
Wrong.
D'Anthony Mellon.
Wrong. You're throwing too many names again. Start guessing.
Guard forward. He's primarily a backup.
Right now, yeah.
Guard forward. Buddy Hield.
You got it. That was a semi-easy one. You threw a lot of guesses that time. Instead of asking questions to get it on the first try. I mean that's my take on that. But all right. So let's give you a challenging one now. Funny as that may be. Let's see. Give me some time here. I want to stump you.
You're not gonna stop me. You're not gonna stop me.
All right. All right. All right. The same rules as last time, like the active NBA.
Yep.
All right.
Dun, 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 dun. There's a lot of players in the NBA.
Go.
Is he in the East?
No.
Is he in the Northwest?
No.
Is he in the Southwest? Dallas, New Orleans.
Yes.
So he's on Dallas,
No.
New Orleans,
No.
Memphis.
No.
So he's on Memphis.
No.
Wait, I said that. He's on Houston.
Yes.
Okay, is he a backup?
Yeah.
Is he a forward?
No, I wouldn't put him there.
So he's a guard.
No.
Center.
Maybe. That's the only thing.
Boban.
God damn it! You got it, guys.
That's the one that stumps me.
You got
Maybe I'll give
it.
you one more.
Why did you think that would be something that you would think of so quick?
I don't know. It's just the genius in me.
How come you didn't do that line of questioning with the first one?
Because I felt like it was an easy one to guess someone on my team. I just kept going with players.
All right, guys, I got to go to the well. Give me a second to think here.
Dun, 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 dun. So, I need one that's gonna actually stump me this time.
All right, guys, let's get him. Let's get this dude. Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm not.
Come on.
All right, shoot.
Is he in the East?
Yes.
Is he in the Central?
Wrong.
Is he in Atlantic?
Wrong.
So South is South. No, North.
Wrong.
I don't know what I'm saying. So he is in the Southeast.
Yeah.
Is he on the Hawks?
No.
Is he on the Bulls?
No.
Is he on the Magic?
Yes.
Is he a forward?
Yeah.
Jonathan Isaac. You can't stop me. You cannot.
I give up. I give up.
You cannot stop me.
I truly give up with this then today. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you today about, I've been pondering this for a couple days now. I want to find out the difference between a pier and a
No,
dock.
we're not doing this.
I mean, like when you think of it, I'm jumping off the pier onto the dock, onto the dock. I'm jumping off the pier onto a dock.
We're jumping off the show.
Jumping out the window.
It's been a good episode, guys.
Letting everything go.
Diamond release.
Letting everything go. Like and subscribe. Jumping off the dock.
Dimer. This is
Jumping off the
release.
dock.
Have a good one, guys.